the display room of a motorcycle manufacturer in Kobe, West Japan. Bikes from over the decades are shown off here. But among them, this is an early model. A stand-up personal watercraft from 1973. The rider holds the handlebars while standing up. An engine-powered jet pump propels the machine, reaching speeds of up to 50 kilometers per hour. You can really feel the speed on it. This watercraft helped introduce the world to a new form of marine sports.
Our story begins back in the 1970s. Motorcycles had become a popular form of transportation. Japanese manufacturers were expanding into foreign markets and fighting for market share. A company in Greater Kobe was one of them. The company's focus was motorcycles, but they wondered whether their engine tech could be used for other purposes. This led to the development of a snowmobile engine. Now, what can we make next? The management explored their options. They decided to turn their attention to marine recreation. Japan's economy was booming, and options for entertainment were increasing. People were enjoying going out on motorboats and sailboats. This is current personal watercraft developer Kato Hironori. Here's what he heard about those times.
It was a time when Japan's economy was hot, so people were getting more receptive to having fun on the water. It was an area where growth was expected, so the company was looking to put out a new product in that space.
And so a team was assembled to develop the new product. The members came together to discuss where to start. It was the company's first time working in marine recreation. What kind of product would be best? The team members researched what was out there. A certain activity looked promising. Water ski. Participants are pulled along the surface of the water by a motorboat while balancing on skis. But in order to do it, someone needs to be driving the boat. It's not a sport that you can do by yourself. That became the core concept, a vehicle which let you have an experience like water skiing on your own.
Water skiing requires a boat to tow the skier, so it's not something that you can do by yourself. The team decided to create a vehicle which would give you a similar sensation to water skiing, but by yourself. That was the idea.
While the team continued to work out their ideas, over in the US, in Los Angeles, a man had come by the company's subsidiary in America. He was a motocross enthusiast, and he had an idea for a new product. It was a concept that he had been thinking about for some time. Motocross is an exciting, high-speed sport. With the thrills, however, comes the risk of getting hurt in a crash. But what if you were racing on water instead? A sketch revealed a vehicle that you stood on, with handlebars like a motorcycle.
The man explained that this was like a motorcycle for the water. It moved with a jet pump, not a propeller. After the presentation, work began on a prototype.
This is a photo of the actual prototype from the time, a motorcycle for the water. February 1972. On the coast of Florida in the U.S. The prototype was to be taken out for its first test drive.
We needed to actually drive it around, test reliability, durability, areas of improvement, before we could move into mass production.
Test time. The rider stepped aboard. Water sprayed behind as the vehicle moved forwards. The prototype picked up speed. The rider tilted the handlebars and went into a smooth turn. But then, the rider lost his balance and fell into the water. This is a photo from the test. The prototype was flipped over, bottom up.
The engine requires air for combustion. There's an air intake. When the prototype flipped over, the air intake went underwater and water started flowing inside. More and more water gets in and it damages the engine.
If all it took to break the vehicle was tipping over once, it would never make it to market. The team had run aground. Was it possible for the vehicle to flip itself back over? First, the team tried making the handle portion out of reinforced plastic instead of metal. They wanted to make the vehicle as light as possible. But what else could be done? After much consideration, it was decided that they would use the same principle as a certain something. A roly-poly toy that rolls back up when pushed down.
There's not much to go off making something for the first time, but they had the idea to borrow from roly-poly toys. If the vehicle flipped over, it would roll back up, just like the toy.
A roly-poly toy has a weight at the bottom. When the toy is knocked over, the weight rises up and gravity pulls it back down to where it was. Similarly, the vehicle would have its center of gravity at the bottom. That way, if it tipped over, gravity would help flip it back up. The team made the body larger and inserted polystyrene foam to improve buoyancy. The heavy engine would be placed at the bottom. The team continued to adjust the center of gravity. February 1973, 2 years after development started, the stand-up personal watercraft was complete. The company decided to target the U.S. market first, as marine sports were popular there. But the product was completely new and unique. When they test marketed the product, it turned out that people weren't very receptive.
It was brand new, so it would have looked unfamiliar to people. I think it was important to actually show people what it looked like in action.
That was when the team decided to showcase their product with a live demonstration so that people could see it with their own eyes. They looked for a resort area in the Caribbean Sea and settled on the Bahamas, a popular destination for marine sports.
They brought something fresh off the assembly line in Japan. I think excitement was very high for the new product, but there was also a lot of uncertainty.
On a beach. It was then floated into position on the water. Local dealers and related parties had been invited to the event. If the demonstration went poorly, word would spread quickly. The team watched as the rider started the engine. And it was off. First, the watercraft moved in a straight line, picking up speed. Water sprayed around as the vehicle accelerated. Then came the turns. The crowd watched and cheered.
There's a picture of the dealers all facing the same way. It had grabbed their attention. I think it would have made quite an impression to those who were watching there that day.
But then the rider lost his balance and the vehicle tipped over. The developers held their breath. The watercraft flipped right back up, just like a roly-poly toy. The rider got back on and accelerated. He boldly took a curve at high speed. It was a beautiful maneuver. The crowd burst into applause.
It was the first time that people outside the company had seen it in action. I think people were excited by the possibilities this new ride offered for marine recreation. The team must have been very happy to hear the cheering.
And so, the demonstration was a resounding success. Reputation began to grow across the U.S. More and more people purchased one, and a new genre of marine sport was born.